traditions of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
If you're drunk,
Blasted,
intoxicated,
rip, plastered,
destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Media station.
Even if they're not that proud of us.
10 a.m. in the morning, she's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Just lay down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
3 out of 4 go sweep. The one that's left should be interesting, and what's next should be a whole lot of fun. Tigers are on. Royals are on. What do you know about them? You're going to learn more and more as you go, aren't you? And then you're going to get Dodgers, Padres. As Manny Machado told me last night, it's what everybody wanted, what we've all been looking for. He's probably right. What's up, boys and girls? Merry Thursday, Football Thursday for you. We got football for you here on the Sports Animal tonight. This morning, you get the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What it do?
All right. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610. We call it the Sports Animal. Some good baseball, huh? I think people are learning about, I mean, if you don't know about Bobby Witt, you don't watch baseball, that's cool. But a lot of people don't watch baseball until now. You're learning about all kinds of different guys like Jackson Chourio and, I don't know, I mean, pick your Andy Ibanez.
Shove a bowl of Cheerios in the morning.
I mean, whatever you like, man, because they eat them a lot in Milwaukee. They wash them down with, they mix them with the beer in Milwaukee.
These dudes are young.
Yep. Brewers yesterday tied the game in the 8th. It was Jackson Chourio. Second home run of the night. Garrett Mitchell then delivered another home run, a 2-run shot as a pinch hitter. And the Brewers will try to become the first team to rally to win a best-of-3 wild card series after losing the opener since the Major League Baseball went to this expanded wild card system, playoff model, I guess would be the right word, in 2022. So that's what you get today. You only get that one. And that'll be in prime time up against football tonight, which will be interesting to see what you got. Maybe you split screen it. Anything surprise you? And I were close. I think I had, which is the series I had extending. I think I had Houston extending. I think I had everybody else winning last night. I did. I had the Brewers and Houston extending. Right? Houston. What happens now? And the story with Alex, and we'll hear from Jose Altuve a little bit later. But Alex Bregman's contract is up. There's a lot of emotion there. He's a 30-year-old, kind of in his prime. His $100 million contract is up. He's looking for north of $200 million in his next one, and he's been a core of what they've done for their whole entire run. And he's a core of that franchise. He is, dude. If you go to a game there, it is amazing how many Bregman jerseys.
So have you heard something? Because you've talked all summer about this is a question, this is an issue. If he's performing, he's 30 years old, locked in with that franchise, why would it be a question for these Astros?
Do they want to pay him? I mean, just look at his Instagram last night. Said thank you, Houston. His final at bat in the regular season was this emotion. They took him out so we could have a curtain call. Last night after the game, Jose Altuve he hugged Alex Bregman and was asked, was this your last game as a teammate with Alex Bregman and Altuve? And we'll listen to him say this later, but he said, no, now it's got to make it happen. we're not going to be the same organization without him. In my mind, there's not a chance this is the last game.
I just think it's crazy that they're acting this way.
That they haven't signed him yet?
I have negotiations with him. He's 30 years old.
Yeah.
Like, should he be the next highest paid player in baseball? No.
No,
Like, you're not gonna be
nobody's
successful
saying that,
doing
nor is he.
But they're acting like he's gonna go get like $500 million something. Like they can't sign Alex Bregman.
He'll go get a quarter north of $250 million somewhere. I mean, the Tigers, the Yankees, the Mariners are already all rumored to be in the mix for him. This is a guy that you want in your franchise. This is everything you want your franchise to be about. A guy who is a good third baseman, who is a clutch hitter, who hits for power and average, and is a leader. Oh, by the way, is a multi-time champion. Like if I heard anything like that, I know that he's gone. No, I don't know anything, other than I know his contract is up.
Because I know you've been discussing it, and then seeing the way they were acting last night, it was really weird to me.
Yeah.
Like I can understand if negotiations happen and someone maybe comes with a much bigger deal, but it doesn't. I haven't heard the Astros struggling for money. They've been willing to pay players and keep certain players around, and this would be like a no-brainer for the Houston Astros.
Yeah, and maybe they are. And their general manager is Dana Brown. After the game, Dana Brown said, quote, about Alex, "I think it'll work out. When you get down to it, I think he wants to stay here. I think we want him to stay here, and it's just a matter of coming up with some type of an agreement." Now, I don't think Alex should have to take a hometown discount here. Do you?
No, I think
there's no
with
cap in
anything.
baseball.
There's no cap in baseball, but you still have to think about what he means as a person is nice, but are you really paying $275 million for 25 homers and 75 RBI?
That was this year's numbers, yeah. Yeah, and if you think that's what he is, then that's what you got to pay on. And he's going to say, but look at my other numbers. He had a really slow start, right? And so I'm sure what he'll do and his agent will do, will take his numbers once he started going in late May and say, all right, take a look at these numbers. Look what they are. Well,
it's also that's who he is as a player.
Okay. So what's he worth?
He hasn't had over 100 RBI since 2019.
Right. So what's he worth?
He's averaged 24 homers per game.
So today's market, what's he like? What here? Let me give you one. Matt Chapman signed recently with the Giants, 6 years, $151 million. He's represented by, they're both Scott Boras guys, which is going to play into this, by the way.
Oh, it's going to be a $200 million plus deal.
Right. So about 6 at 200, 6 at 210, 212, right? Somewhere right in there. Yeah. I mean, that feels like market value, doesn't it?
And yes, because when you look at, say, like recent deals, like Bobby Witt Jr. just got $280 million.
Yeah, okay, he's not that.
So I think he's going to get a very, very good deal. But it doesn't feel like it's something that wouldn't be doable for the Houston Astros.
Altuve got 5 years, $125 in February, an extension, 5 at $125. Seems like a bargain.
Well, he's also 34.
Right. I think when I say he shouldn't have to take a hometown discount. I mean, I'm not saying go break the bank and kill these guys and put them in a position where they can't sign anybody else. And I don't think he wants to do that. He wants to play on a contender. Look, this is the first time since 2016 that they're not in the American League Championship Series, and he's been a part of every one of those. And by the way, a key part in every one of those. You just look at some of the numbers. I mean, you make your numbers play however you want, right? I'm looking at this. His WAR, wins above replacement, is 38.3, and it's a stat that I know a lot of people don't, and I don't fully understand it. But since he came in 2017, right, since his first full season, it's second most among Major League third basemen to that point. So what's that worth to you? What does that mean to you? It's crazy, dude. If you've ever been to a game in Houston, and I was there, and I was with his dad at that point, I'm like, dude, how does it feel to have your name on like everybody's back? Like everybody's wearing your damn name on their back. Look, that guy, that girl, that girl. It's crazy. There's more Bregman jerseys than whatever that means to you, and I know it doesn't win you any games.
Well, it's still an important part of you're building a brand. You want your fan base to be in. You want players that you can rally around. And Alex Bregman does both. He performs, and he is easy to market, and he is a guy that you're going to look at, and he's always going to be a Houston Astro.
Right. I mean, depending on let's just say he goes to Detroit and they go on a run. I just threw some of that. Since he came into the game, since his first full year, in 2017, it was 38.3, according to what I'm looking at. What do you got?
4.1. Career.
His career. That's just two totally different numbers. Yeah, and two totally different stories.
39. Oh yeah, you're right. I apologize.
Okay.
I was just trying to double check because I'm all in on Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
But I also don't.
All right, 4 and 38.3 are very different.
It was his WAR was 4.1 this year.
This year, but this is since coming in 2017.
I don't know where's this coming from. He's not a $500 million player. He's a very good player.
Yeah.
So why was they kind of having this farewell? It just felt so weird.
Because the contract's up. And because there's uncertainty, and because of what he's meant to that franchise and to that city, and because it could be, right? And, Altuve said that he is going to talk to management, that he is going to go talk to ownership. This is Jose Altuve who said it. Evidently, the Astros, and this is, to your point, this is kind of weird, they haven't presented a formal offer to him yet. Now, they're expected to in the near future, whatever that means. The end of the World Series would trigger an exclusive 5-day negotiating window between teams and their players before the market opens. So the Astros are hoping to get a sense of their chances before that. Dana Brown, the GM, said, I think it's very important, and we're going to try to make a run. This sounds super 50-50 to me.
It does. It's just wild to me.
Yeah. I mean, it just sounds super 50-50.
Like, you have an established player that can be the guy you lean on over the next few years as Altuve ages out over the next couple seasons. Yeah, you got Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, some of the other young guys in that lineup. They, of course, you look at the starters, Justin Verlander not being available, but he's just 41 years old. Like, I think they have some decent pieces. Agretti, Hunter Brown moving forward, but then you also look at the game yesterday, and it was the $95 million closer.
Yeah,
I was giving up runs.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it's so weird. They gave him a send-off during the regular season finale, the home finale. He sent out. They put him out to the field alone. Like you go out and they played his walk-up song through the speakers. They subbed him out so he can get a standing ovation. It's really, to your point, man. It feels like they made a decision, but they're trying to cover their asses. Oh, we're going to try, but it's a Scott Boras thing, and here's some low offer, and look, Seattle will pay him. I mean,
there's not going to be a shortage of suitors with a nice check for Alex Bregman.
You mentioned Justin Verlander. He called Alex Bregman, quote, one of the most impressive baseball minds competitors I've ever been around this game. He continues, said at the beginning of the year, he obviously was not the hitter he wanted to be, but he shows up on defense every single day, shows up in the locker room here every single day, ready to put in his work and also help those around him. Honestly, I can't say enough great things about him. So that's the veteran. And then you just talked about the young guys, and this is their shortstop, Jeremy Pena, who says, quote, since the first day, I feel like Breggy kind of took me under his wing. Whenever I need advice, he's probably one of the first people I reach out to. I feel like he'll pick up every single time. Just a great teammate. I consider him a friend as well. He needs to be here. Look, whatever the noise is, I mean, obviously the dude, remember when he first came up and how everybody was so impressed that he learned Spanish and spoke to the Spanish-speaking players in the locker room and what that meant to them, right? Where that goes. And bottom line is, dude has performed his whole career. Like, I know I'm sounding like his agent, and I mean, no secret. I love the kid. I say kid, he's a 30-year-old man. Known him since he was 7, 8 years old. He's but I'm trying to be as subjective as I can, and I know you're much more than I am, and I appreciate you balancing me on this. I don't understand why they haven't offered him something yet to get started.
It's when you hear what they did at the end of the regular season, how they were talking last night, some of the things they've done, that makes zero sense to me.
I mean, when are they going to get this
'cause
better?
So, like you said, the Astros are setting the table for this to not work out.
And almost like they can come in and give him, well, I mean, here's 6 years, $151 million, like Matt Chapman got. And Scott Boras is going to laugh at it. They're going to take it to market, and they're going to get north of $2 million, and they're going to say, well, I mean, we couldn't deal with Scott Boras, and we wanted him here, and we gave him our best offer, right? And it's on him. He just didn't want to be here. Look, man, a lot of money is a lot of money. Athletes have a limited window in which to make this money, right? Most of us can do whatever we do into our 60s or however long we need to do it. Play Major League Baseball until you're, I don't know, if you're really, really lucky, into your upper 30s, right? This is his last big deal. At 30 years old, right? If he gets a 6-year deal, this is his last big one. And market value tells you somewhere about 6 years, $212,000 or $212 million. It's interesting, though. All right, we got a lot to do. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. Your thoughts, the baseball last night, Padres, Brewers, Tigers, and Royals were winners last night. You get one Game 3 tonight, and that'll be the Brewers and the Mets. Winner goes on to take on the Phillies. Next round, it'll be the Padres and the Dodgers. Is it Tigers and Cleveland, right? And then the Yankees and the Royals is what you get in the American League. 505-246-0610. A lot of football. We got a game tonight. There's news as far as conference realignment. There always is. We'll go there. And magic number 300 and who's hit it and who hasn't as far as a big number in football. When we come back, we'll get you set for tonight. It's Falcons-Bucks who's playing. There were some big names on your fantasy team that had Q's next to them, questionable in regards to tonight's game. We'll get you ready for that. Jerry Palm from CBS will be with us at 8:30. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Bingo. All right, Bill, we're recording now.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro Beef. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
It's sportsanimalabq.com. Been talking about Alex Bregman and his contract situation with the Astros, and did he play his last game in Houston? And Jose Altuve was asked about it. A lot of people were, and everybody's saying we want him to be here. Well, then pay the man, and we'll see what they decide to do. Alex is probably up for, if he hits free agency with Scott Boras as his agent, probably 6 years, north of $200 million, and that's probably just the going rate. So where will he land? And it'll be interesting to watch over the next few weeks. You got a game tonight in the National Football League, JJ. It is it's actually a really, really interesting one in the NFC South. It is the Buccaneers and it is the Falcons. It's in Atlanta. What would you say the spread is? Have you looked at?
I did see it.
-2. It is the Falcons favored by 2. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers are 3-1. The Falcons are 2-2. Bijan Robinson, it looks like, will play. He was questionable with a high ankle sprain, limited in practice earlier this week, but it looks like he is a go. How do you see this one tonight?
I see it right down those lines. It feels like, 21-17 game, 2017 tight division shootout that if you want to win this, you got to hold serve at home. With Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and New Orleans, I think all those division games are just going to be grinders, just like we saw
Atlanta and New Orleans. Yeah,
Sunday.
went down to the gun. Yeah.
Walk-off field goal for the Falcons.
Yeah, I think that's right. And these teams, I think, are all very similar. I don't know who I even think as I sit here today, who's the best one? You got to, do you lean a little bit to the team with the best record, who is the Saints at 3-1? Okay, you can certainly do that. I'm sorry, the Buccaneers, who are 3-1. You certainly can do that, and it would seem fair. It comes down to, in a lot of cases, which quarterback do you trust the most? And I don't know that there's a consensus on that either. I mean, who do you trust the most throughout the season? Is it Baker Mayfield? Is it Kirk Cousins? Is it Derek Carr? And you could ask 3 different people and get 3 different answers.
You could. I would have Baker Mayfield atop that list right now.
Okay.
And with what he did last season.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Keeps pace in front of those other guys.
Look, this is a team. It's crazy to me that they're 3-1 and their lone loss is getting pounded at home by the Broncos. Right? If nothing says NFL more than that, because you look at the teams they've beaten, they open up with a convincing win over the Commanders. Well, rookie first-time starter. Yeah, but look what they've become. They went to Detroit and beat the Lions, who are 3-1. And they handled the Eagles last week, who are a lot of people's favorite in the NFC. I think you're right when it comes to which quarterback do you trust the most, simply because Kirk Cousins is 35, 36 years old, coming off the Achilles, and still trying to figure out as he comes back. And Derek Carr hasn't shown you that consistency to win at any level in his career. As much as I think Derek Carr is a good quarterback, do you trust him enough to roll it through the season? It was a great start, like a historic start. The first 2 games of the year, the amount of points that they put up.
Yeah, over 40 points each game through 5 touchdown passes, and Derek Carr has 1 passing touchdown over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So which is the true Derek Carr?
This one.
I think it's somewhere in the middle. I really do.
It's going to be a roller coaster, right? Like, they're going to be an effective offense. Alvin Kamara running the football has been very good this season. If Taysom Hill's on the field, he's going to score touchdowns. But I think the consistency, it goes to Baker Mayfield. He's the guy I would trust over the course of the season.
Would it blow your mind? Because it wouldn't blow mine. If on Sunday night, I think it's a Sunday night game, if the Saints beat the Chiefs in Kansas City?
No. Especially with the offensive struggles of Kansas City?
I mean, hardly, right? I almost expect it. I don't know what the spread is on that game, but I'll bet I'll take it. It'll be, as we sit here right now, it's Monday night's game, by the way. You want to give me the Saints and 5.5 points? I'll take that. Chiefs are, who are they beating by 5.5? They're not beating anybody by 5.5. They beat the Ravens by 5.5, up by a toe, right? They beat the Bengals by a point. They beat the Falcons by 5. I guess they beat the Chargers by 7. So those are all basically right at 5.5. I'll take the Saints at 5.5, wouldn't you? Kind of one of my favorites. I know I can't put it in 3-for-all because it's on Monday, but it's kind of one of my favorites as I stare at this. So that's what you get tonight. You're going to get the Falcons and the Buccaneers. I think it's a really good one on Prime tonight. You going to watch the baseball? I guess if you're a Mets fan, you watch it. The baseball, dude, it's been so good, by the way. And the crowds, everything I tell you about hometown and how they love baseball? Wait till the Tigers get home. Like, you're seeing it in Milwaukee, how they love it. You see it in San Diego. And San Diego's special in this regard, and I don't say it just because I spent, 8 years in San Diego. San Diego's special because, JJ, it is their only of the big 4. And I know they got soccer there now, MLS. But they lost their NBA team, they lost their NHL team, and the Padres have stayed there. San Diego loves the freaking Padres. And the Padres have loved them back in regards to showing them the love by going out and spending money and buying a team. Like, you want to talk about a love affair? Do you almost feel it, right? When you watch a Phillies playoff game, you feel it coming through the TV, right? You feel that energy, you feel it. Don't you kind of get that in San Diego a little bit, watching that last night?
Absolutely. These are what baseball thrives on now.
Yeah. And they do it really well. Like, this people, the baseball's dead people, the baseball's boring people. Dude, you're wrong. Baseball's not boring, especially at this level. And if you watch the playoffs, and I know I say this about hockey all the time, But the intensity in that Astros game last night or yesterday afternoon was insane. Until that bases clearing double down the left field line quieted that place. Wait till you see. Like I was in Michigan this week, man. Was in one establishment when they clinched and watched the place go nuts, and I was in another establishment waiting. We're just killing time before the airport on Sunday. I don't know if I told you this. It was like in a town in Michigan, between Michigan and Ann Arbor, or Detroit and Ann Arbor, called Garden City. Went to a sports bar. And it was Sunday, and the games were on. Now, the Lions didn't play until Monday night. But there were, like, all the football games on, and, dude, all the reaction was every time the Tigers did something. Tigers' last game of the year. It was – I really got a sense of what it was. They sold out on Friday night when they clinched. Baseball's cool, man. The people are – I used to get those all the time, and I'm sure I'll get them today because I'm soliciting them almost. But when I hear that baseball is boring, people – that's cool if you don't get it, and I'm not telling you what you should like. But if you get it and you want to get into it,
baseball's boring during the regular season. It's just
okay.
There's not enough national crossover for it.
I don't even know if there's enough national crossover in the playoffs.
There absolutely there is.
You think so?
Yeah. I think postseason anything, you don't have to say how awesome it is. I think that's the one thing in sport that has everyone watching baseball now or the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like will draw you in because it's what we are built for as fans is the playoffs.
Let me give you this. I'll concede, it can get boring, especially if your team's 50 games back, like Colorado or whatever. The last month, last 2 months, so you hit August and your team's in a pennant race, those ballparks are electric. They are.
It's been a good change for Major League Baseball. The wild card series are still so short that it doesn't.
I don't like it that short, but I know there's no other way around it.
That you get the intensity, you get the like you said, down in August into September, fighting for this last playoff spot. There's enough hope for franchises, and the teams that you see they're still close to 90-win teams. Like they're
good.
It hasn't watered down.
Wait till you see the way Cleveland loves on their team. Like Cleveland, we know LA, we know Philly. Wait till you see the way Cleveland loves on their team. They love it, and I'm telling you the reason. It's every day, it's all summer long. When there's not a ton going on, and so you watch the game every night. And people in those towns get to know each one of these players, and they get to know the personalities because it's every day, and they're on TV locally, and they watch, and they care, and they read, and they feel like they know them. That's how Alex Bregman became so entrenched in Houston, right? Every day, all summer long, 6 months, and then you have some success, and these people just are completely in, and you're seeing – just electric ballparks. It's cool to see baseball back like this in a large respect. All right, 505-246-0610. Devontae Adams has requested a trade, or I think he has, certainly on the trade block. So will he play this weekend? Well, he's got an injury, Jeff. Yeah, does he? And how bad is it, and will he play? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove, controlling heat up to 40 hours on a single load of wood with a built-in thermostat. See for yourself at either Blaze King showroom, Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Blaze King, and now that's a fire.
Well, it's a good thing Saquon Barkley's not playing this week.
Is he not? Are they going to buy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. All right, then maybe I get Samaje Perine or something. All right, well, that's good. That's kind of a good break. And Bijan almost didn't play.
But we'll go, though.
You get Bijan tonight. We'll have Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Thursday Night Football here on the Sports Animal. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Devontae Adams is on your fantasy team. He was one of your probably top 2 or 3 picks, certainly, if he's on your team. But will he play this weekend? And where will he play beyond this weekend? Multiple reports say he will not play this weekend against the Broncos because of the injury. It is a hamstring injury that is keeping it out. It may linger into week 6. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reported this on Wednesday. That means whoever trades for him is going to have to wait to get him out on the field, theoretically. Or will a trade automatically be the magic salve that fixes his hamstring? Look, he's going to be 32 in December. He's in the third year of a 5-year, $140 million contract. He carries a cap hit of north of $25 million, jumps to over $44 million in the next 2 seasons. Trading for him isn't as easy as, hey, finding some room in this year's this year's salary cap, which has got about 13 something left on that. It's about next year's hits and all of those things. And JJ, it's not as simple. I think he will get moved, but this isn't as easy as, the Cowboy fans are going, well, why doesn't Jerry go get him? And this one's really not as easy as, obviously a free agent deal or many of the other trades.
So I don't think he wants to go to the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I don't think he
There's
does
two
either.
destinations he wants to go.
Yeah.
To Jets and Saints, because quarterbacks he's played with, he wants to be comfortable. And I do think that Jets make the most sense, because I think that's where you're going to get the most locked in. Devontae Adams at this point in time, the Raiders, it's not even worth having a discussion whether he's healthy or not. If you're going to trade the dude, you're not putting him on the field. So even if he can say he has a hamstring injury, at this point, if he was healthy, he wouldn't be locked in. He doesn't want to be there. Don't put your team through that. He's cashed out. You got to move on at this point in time. And the Raiders are going to have to pay some of his salary this season to facilitate a move. And then once they get the draft picks, make that move. Whoever acquires him, figure it out with the salary of the next years.
Yeah. And I don't know. I honestly don't know the Jets situation, the Saints situation. I know what it is this year. The Jets have just enough to slide him under. The Saints only have about $3.5 million in cap space, so they'd have to clear some. And it's not that easy. It's not just as easy as letting somebody go. And I guess you could move it in the trade, right? It's like the NBA deals, right? You're moving money around. Because didn't the Karl Anthony Towns trade just involve 8 players? That Knicks and Timberwolves thing, it was an 8-player, 3-team deal, just so they can get all the money right to fit everything into salary caps and that whole thing. But this isn't as easy as it sounds. I was trying to find the details on that trade. So 3 teams. It was the Wolves, the Knicks, and the Charlotte Hornets. Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo can go to Minnesota. Charlotte got a couple of future second-round picks for their role in stepping in and making this happen. I'm not even. Do you even know what they did?
Help move money around.
What does that mean?
They moved money around. Players who fit in salary caps. That's exactly what you're talking about.
Who'd they move? Did they move anybody? Like player-wise?
Yes, they did.
I was looking for it. I just couldn't find it.
It was pretty much just moving contracts of players they have rights to.
Okay.
So guys that are never going to be on the floor, guys that are actually playing overseas right now, but as you laid out, help facilitate the deal to keep it within the salary parameters.
And for your help, here's a couple of second-round picks in the future. You're Charlotte. you're the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, so DeQuan Jeffries, Charlie Brown, and Dwayne Washington Jr. That they just in there because they needed to balance the books.
Charlie Brown. One that hangs out with Lucy
Might
Lane.
not even be a real person.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Peanuts character, right? Charlie Brown hangs out with Linus and Lucy, right?
So they had, if I'm getting the weeds for a second with this.
Yeah.
They actually had to buy out a contract of a player playing overseas.
Charlotte did.
It was one of the moving pieces in it.
Okay.
Put him in the trade. They gave these guys like $1 over the minimum because of some wording language of how you can or cannot trade minimum players.
Okay.
Moved him, and then the player is going back to his team he's with overseas to continue playing there.
So they moved him to either Minnesota or the Knicks to make this deal work. Does he get paid by them too?
He's getting something out of it, absolutely.
Just to have his name attached to being. Well, I mean, his
so it's
name
one of
is
those
Charlie
guys
Brown?
that you have the rights to, but he's not in the NBA.
Wow.
And so then you could throw him in said trade because numbers.
I mean, honestly, just
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough to be an NBA GM. I'm literally not even close to figure out their salary cap and their stuff. All right, 505-246-0610. You can get in. I got an email on Alex Bregman. It's short, not very sweet, but I'll get it to you. When we come back, where are the Broncos with their quarterback? Hey, he just won 2 games in a row, but he threw it for 60 freaking yards. So are they staying with him? Tell you what the coach said when we get back. This is what I say about on-the-spot automotive detailing. They are great. In fact, best in the city, according to Albuquerque, the magazine, and most of you who voted on best in the city. Yeah, they're that good. They come to you and detail your vehicle. And I tell you this every day, and I almost think it goes over people's head, because somebody hit me the other day. Hey, so that detailing place that you talk about every day, yeah, on the spot automotive detailing. So how does that work? Well, you call them, make an appointment, and they'll come to your office and detail your car. You mean, well so do I got to be out there? No, dude. You're inside. You're working there in the parking lot, and they detail your car. You get a text, you go outside, and your car is like brand new. I mean, it's shining. Inside, outside, like, remember that new car smell and feel? That's what you get from on-the-spot automotive detailing, and you don't take it to them. They're that dang good. It's a great gift. I love them. Like, when they come, it's one of my favorite times, a few times a year when I get this done for me. Great gift. Everybody will love this. And it's not just detailing. It's window tint, 3M dealer. That means they're the best product on the market. They've got ceramic coating and paint protection film to protect your vehicle. It's one of your biggest investments. Take care of it. On the spot automotive detailing. It's all online at otsdetailing.com. It's otsdetailing.com. Or you can give them a call and book there. 505-859-2859. That's area code 505-859-2859. It's on the spot automotive detailing.
This report is sponsored by
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that.
What's that, 90? What's the pitch?
94.5.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Broncos beat the Jets last week. Big win for Denver, big loss for the Jets. Quarterback, rookie, figuring it out. Bo Nix, 12 for 25, 60 yards. They won. Sean Payton says about his quarterback, this is your head coach, quote, real sharp with his location, end quote. He's liked what he's seen. Said that if anyone else can paint the right picture, then you truly get to evaluate and watch a real good quarterback. It's that mix of running game, passing game, third down. It gets back to this month. Ascending or going the other way. We have to be stepping on the gas right now. That was his quote. I'm not even sure what all that means, other than this is his quarterback. It should be his quarterback. He's committed to this quarterback. They're 2-2, which I think is better than many thought, especially after watching them opening day. You've got a quarterback who was picked as the 6th quarterback in the draft. He's not the best quarterback in the draft. He may be one of the better ones when it's all said and done. And there's growing pains to be an NFL quarterback, and I'm watching the kid grow, but I like what he sees, and I like what he sees because we're 2-2. You're not sold on that?
I'm sold on the process because you have to be patient. You have to give it time. Even if it's bad, you have to keep going. It's developing a quarterback in the NFL, which I think is a lost art. And that's why I'm really intrigued by this, because Sean Payton's never done this. For being a quarterback whisperer and this offensive guru, he's never developed a young quarterback. And with Bo Nix, they're putting him in a tough spot because he has the 7th most attempts in the NFL through 4 weeks and doesn't have the offense to back it up. So the numbers are going to look pedestrian at times. He has some of the worst yards per attempt because they can't push football downfield. They're not running the football. But as long as you're committed to the process, you're not going to get too frustrated with the results this year in terms of the box score with Bo Nix because of what you're asking him to do. Then I appreciate that message and hope everyone in the organization understands that for Sean Payton and Bo Nix.
I think they do. I think within the organization they do. If fans get frustrated, they watch it week to week and they react week to week. Bo Nix, in regards to passing and the statistics, and I guess we're going by yardage here, and this is on sheer attempts, has more passing yardage than Anthony Richardson. Now, Jordan Love's only played 2 games. Will Levis, Justin Herbert, Jacoby Brissett, right? Whatever that means to you. But he's 2-2. And
means nothing.
Right. Right. No, I think that's right. I'm just giving you numbers. I think the numbers are in volume, and that's why the numbers are whatever the numbers happen to be.
So you're talking about a guy that has the 7th most pass attempts and is 25th in yards.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's what they're asking him to do is not equaling.
But what else can you ask him to do? Right, until Javonte Williams, and look, he ran the ball.
Actually call running plays?
Yeah, and he ran, well, and block and find some holes and have guys to hit holes and be productive in the run game. Yeah, yeah. And Javonte Williams had 77 yards last week. There was a whisper of a running game last week. I don't want to say it was really good, but you had better than it's been. You had a little glimpse of it, right? But yeah, that's what they got.
They're calling a lot of plays, but they're not effective plays. There are only 2 players with a worse average per attempt than Bo Nix this season.
Who's that?
Bryce Young and Tyler Huntley. So that's the challenge. And I think what Sean Payton is doing is painting the right picture, saying, hey, what we're doing might not look good, but there's a process to this.
No. And I think he's right. I have no idea. Like, of every game that I would consider betting this week, this is the last one on the list. I have no idea what I think to expect between the Raiders and the Broncos. I mean, these are 2 teams that are Jekyll and Hyde. Like, the Raiders are 2-2, just like the Broncos are, right? They can go out and beat the Ravens and then lose to the Panthers. And then they put up 20 points against the Browns. And defensively, look, I don't know, were they really good against the Browns? Or was Deshaun Watson really bad? I mean, that offense for the Browns scored 9 freaking points. How do you even look at this? Bronco, who's going to win the game? Like, the hell with the spread. Who do you think wins the football game? Exactly. I mean, I see your face. I wish people could see your face too, because it's mine.
Yeah, those are the games you're just honestly flip a coin.
Yeah. I mean, is the Raider defense really good?
Well, Max Crosby's probably not going to be out there.
And offensively, they're going to be without Devontae Adams. They've given up 22 to the Chargers, 23 to the Ravens, 22 to the Panthers, and then last week. So they've given up 21-ish.
That's why it's what, Denver 1.5, over under 37.5.
I don't know. I just, honestly, I got a feel probably for every other game this week. That one, man, I just, I don't know. If you know, I'd love to hear you. All right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanalabq.com and JJ at sportsanalabq.com. Jerry Palm, CBS, is going to be with us coming up at 8:30, getting to college football. Big weekend starts today. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
It's a fire.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Braves 5-4. So it'll be San Diego, LA, which is, I mean, it's just got to watch it TV. Brewers beat the Mets, so you'll get a decisive Game 3 winner-take-all in that wild card game today. Brewers and Mets winner will go on to play the Phillies. American League, it's set. Tigers eliminate the Astros, swept them. 5-2 was the final in Texas yesterday. Tigers move on. They will play Cleveland in the next round. And the Royals sweep the Orioles 2-1. Look, that series was 1-0 and 2-1. Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce go on, and they'll play the Yankees. Oh, different Kansas City? Taylor Swift's not
Who do
going to
you
be
think's
there?
more popular right now, Bobby Witt Jr. or Patrick Mahomes?
It's Mahomes, but not by a lot.
Especially since he almost ended the Chiefs season by destroying Rashee Rice.
Yeah, Mahomes, but not by a lot. Bobby Witt Jr. is something else. We've been talking a lot about was last night Alex Bregman's final game as a Astro. His deal is up. There was like all the send-offs, and Deutsch says Bregman is nothing but a liar and a cheater, Jeff. It's from Deutsch. No, he's more than that. No, he's more than that. If you believe that's what he is, that's fine. But he is more than that. He's a pretty damn good ball player. And I'll tell you, he's a damn good human being, and I love the kid. And you can, and I know I'm a Dodger fan, and I'm not supposed to like him, but I but my brother feels kind of the way Deutsch does. I mean, a lot of people, and I get it. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm not mad at you for it. But he is more than that. To say nothing but a liar and a cheater, Jeff. Yeah, he is a lot more. But that'll always be part of his legacy, right? Everybody was part of that. How about AJ Hinch, by the way?
Ooh, yeah, that's when I talk about peppery storyline.
So for those of you who are like, AJ, what is that? AJ Hinch is the manager of the Tigers. But AJ Hinch was the manager of the Astros during that season, the whole sign-stealing season, the trash can banging, that whole thing. AJ Hinch was one of the fall guys. Major League Baseball suspended him and the general manager for one season. And didn't Alex Cora get hit for a year too? Alex Cora is managing the Red Sox. AJ Hinch, after his suspension expired, was hired by the Tigers to be the manager. And AJ Hinch and the Tigers are the team who eliminated the Astros yesterday in Minute Maid Park in Houston, in the place where it all went down. The irony was lost on absolutely nobody. AJ was asked about it afterwards, and he talked about it. And
what does that tell you about the situation? The fact that so many people involved have jobs at other organizations were given immediately manager opportunities.
Mm-hmm. What it tells me is it probably wasn't isolated. Okay, doesn't make it any better. Okay, so let me just.
But did they feel it made that much of an impact?
No.
Because if you're bringing
guys in, yeah. So I'm going to get there because I think you're right. But to your point, but I want to preface this by saying, a million rights don't make a wrong. I'm sorry, a million wrongs don't make a right. But what it says is probably weren't the only ones doing it, and we hear the Yankees probably were. To your point, these guys are really, really good. You still have to hit ball, see ball, all that stuff. And did they cheat? They did. I mean, it's been documented they did. But obviously, that's not why people believe they won, right? Because all these guys have jobs elsewhere and are getting paid, and are having success, right?
Yes, they are.
I mean, AJ Hinch has this team back in the playoffs, and they just won a series for the first time in a decade. Detroit, dude, when Addie moved to Michigan, she didn't even know Detroit had a baseball team. She didn't know the name of the Tigers, and she's a sports chick. Like, she knows this stuff. She keeps explaining sports to all these people, all these boys she's meeting out there. She didn't know. Now she's like, Dad, she had an exam the other night. She's like, it was Monday night. All these guys are like, they're spending their last 3 minutes. I'm trying to stay there. They're all fixing their fantasy football team, and they're pissed off that it's right during the Lions game. She gets it. But you didn't know. You couldn't name me 3 Tigers, and maybe you just watched the series and you still can't. And they got the Cy Young winner. That's what A.J. Hinch did. No, JJ, your point's right. And the A.J. Hinch story is hate it, like it. It's spicy, though, right?
Yes.
Like, what does it say to you?
It says that Major League Baseball, those in power, might have understood that a lot more people were doing it, and they still believed in the talent of these people as opposed to they only were good because of what was going on. No, I think
that's been proven, right?
Yes.
It's been proven.
I don't like any teams that go beyond that point. Like so much is invested, and it's one thing if you're on second base and they don't do anything. Like, to me, I think that's all part of the game of, like, if you're a middle linebacker and an audible call, things like that.
If you organically are able to pick up a sign, you're at second base and the guy just puts down one finger and you touch your right ear telling him it's a fastball coming.
Like, that's course of the game. You pick up on something, oh man, every time quarterback touches his left hip, they're running an option play.
Well,
that's organically. So I don't like what they did. It's not an excuse to it, but when you talk about it, it goes to there was still trust in these people around Major League Baseball. It was one of those moments where you have ebbs and flows, right, in sports of, all right, let's pull back on this because this looks bad for everyone. But ultimately, what it shows to me is what we're kind of getting at is it was something more than just, it was easy for them because they're stealing signs. Don't like it. Don't want to see teams go that far in sport, even at the highest level, because I'm not a fan of the you ain't cheating, you're not trying type of deal with anything.
I think you're onto something, right? They went too far. Between the cameras and the electronic communication and the banging on trash can. I mean, it's too much. Organically, it's like guys tipping pitches. If every time he throws a curveball, he holds his glove a certain way, right? Are you cheating because you recognize that? If the third base sign, what the steal sign is, the indicator's his nose, and then he goes to his chin, and you steal the sign, that's it. If Peyton goes, Omaha, red 21, well, 21 means they're coming this way, that's fine. When we start using electronics and cameras, and that's, I think we all agree, right? They went too far. All right, 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Emails again, Jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. I got some emails. We'll turn the call. I'll hit you on these. So you guys are kind of all over the place. You're a little bit on Lobo football. Lobo football, name of the stadium. Lobo Hobo sent me. He wants to rename the stadium New Mexico Bowl Stadium. All right. What about Isleta New Mexico Bowl Stadium? Well, that wouldn't work because they got a different casino. That's kind of their partner. But he thinks changing the name of the stadium. He sent me an article that was written. He wants my thought on that. I'll give you that.
About the University Stadium specifically?
Correct. Yes.
They got Pitbull Stadium.
Yep, it's for sale. It is for sale. 100%. 505-246-0610. Jerry Palm at 8:30. Looking forward to catching up with our buddy from CBS Sports on the opening drive. He's JJ Buck. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by
I'd like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm...
It was just sitting on the bar. And a guy came up next to me, ordered a drink. He says, what game's that? And I told him, and he laughed at me. He said, I don't have enough money to care about that game. And then we started talking, and he kind of was glancing over, and Lobos had the ball, and Devin Dampier was doing his thing. He's like, wow, who's that guy? And I kind of explained it to him. He's like, wow, he's pretty good, huh? I'm like, yeah, I think he says, God, we should buy him next year. And Audra's like, what? He's like, gave this alumni at Michigan, whatever his name was, I don't remember. He says he just gave $3 million to the collective to go buy a quarterback.
I think that's a Barstool Sports guy.
Maybe.
No, I think, no, not maybe.
Oh, is that who did it?
Yeah.
It was Portnoy. You know what? That sounds right. Yeah. Actually, that might be not Robert Portnoy. Dave Portnoy. Yeah, different. Robert's making a lot of money.
Who knows at this point? Maybe you need Rob to step up.
Right, but yeah,
Devin Dampier around.
Dave Portnoy gave $3 million. Go find a quarterback, and I mean, I don't know if it's going to be Devin Dampier or somebody else, but somebody's going to, that's the world today. And when the guy walked away, it's like, I was just like, what's that guy talking about? I'm like, that's today's world, man. Like,
yeah, everyone's on 1-year deals.
And she says, well, what are the Lobos giving him? I said, I have no idea, but I'm going to guess they're maxing out at about $250 for a quarterback. I mean, isn't that what you're thinking? When quarterbacks are going for, like, if the kid can go get $1 million somewhere. And I'm not, look, man, I'm not trying to get him out the door. Please. I hope he stays. I love watching him. I think it's been great for the program. But literally that happened to me. You guys like looking at your quarterback on my phone in a bar in Michigan. That's how it works. No Juan Jose, no Nedward Abraham James Jr., Jeffrey, with another awkward bye week. This actually isn't an awkward. This bye week feels like this one's not as awkward as the first one, is it?
I'm all for bye weeks.
With another awkward bye week and one-win Air Force up next. Out of sight, out of mind, Lobo football makes it feel the season is over, doesn't it? At least in the minds of casual and fringe fans. I don't know, does it? I mean, what Dan, you got to tell me, when would it not be awkward for you to have a bye week? Now, understanding that this is the second one, I'll give you that. That's a little awkward because there's been one. And there isn't typically 2, let alone 3, as they have this year. But I don't know. I mean, a bunch of teams are on bye this week, right? New York Giants are on bye. Is the season over? I mean,
they're playing this week.
Who are?
Giants.
The New York Giants are? The Eagles are on bye. Yeah. I mean, I'm all over the place, dude. I know that one. All right, Lobo Hobo sent me this. I don't really have time to get into this. He sent me this article out of the Daily Lobo, written by somebody named Addison Fulton. And her whole point was, it's an opinion piece, that University Stadium needs a spiffier name. And if, like there's the Swamp and there's Death Valley. So she wants to call it the Wolf Den. No opponent would want to enter the Wolf Den. They'd know they were in trouble, and yet it would be a place where the Lobos instantly knew they were home. University Stadium has a branding problem, but more importantly, it has an attendance problem. And it talks about going through University Stadium. So she thinks it needs a name, and it will get a name one day, and it'll be Name Your Corporation Stadium, right?
Yeah.
And so Lobo Hobo says University Stadium is boring, Jeffy. Getting butts in the seats needs to start with a fresh new name, according to this. What do you think? I think a new name. You can call it whatever you want, dude. The Pit is not the official name of University Arena. Over the years, it became the Pit, or maybe initially when it was built. I don't know how it started. Obviously, I know why it started. It's a pit in the ground. It's a hole in the ground. It's a great name, and it became known as a Pit. I don't know that you can just throw a name on it and people are going to start running out there. So, cute story. I don't agree with the majority of it. You can't just, hey, let's call it the Wolf Den, and it's going to be way better. Okay. I mean.
Okay, first off.
Yeah.
Tip your cap. UNM Communication and Journalism School.
Yep.
So I got my degree from. Appreciate a lot of great people over there.
Okay.
This is a young writer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not ripping her.
I'm saying,
or him.
Getting a feet wet with an opinion piece. You can't. That's not how names are created. They come across organically, and you can't have a building that's been there for whenever it was built at this point in time. and then just start trying to nickname it. It doesn't work that way.
It will
It's
be
University Stadium, and if someone ever wants to pay for the naming rights,
Dream
it'll be
Style
that.
Stadium at one
It's
point.
never going to be the Wolf Den.
That's right.
Which would actually be like a great area to put in there. Got the house zone outside, you have the Wolf Den inside. The marketing opportunities, but the whole stadium is not going to be nicknameable at this point.
Right. It is University Stadium until the next Dream Style comes on and puts their name on it. Right? It was Dream Style Stadium for a while, and I know they're looking to monetize that. And
Should
that
have put on the football stadium.
What's that?
Go over a lot better putting a name on the football stadium.
Yes. Yes.
The basketball arena.
And then, look, if you want to come up with something, I don't know that I think the Den or the Wolf Den is all that great, but I give you kudos for where you're thinking. I don't think it would be bad to, Death Valley or the Swamp, but those places didn't become Death Valley just because someone named it. That happened over time. The Swamp, Florida, it's swampy. That's how the place looks like. I think we can do better than the Wolf Den, right?
That'd be a good name for like the student section at the football.
Okay. All right.
The Howl Raisers.
All right.
Yeah. With the student section, but something like an area. Like that could work. Marketing should get on that.
Yeah, but High Desert Swarm or something along with.
If it doesn't come across organically and a venue's been there for that long,
it won't be.
It's not happening.
And that felt manufactured. So. All right, Jerry Palm with us when we come back. Big week coming up in college football. Big week past. We'll get into his thoughts on where we are and certainly get into the latest round of realignment with him. Gonzaga to the Pac-12, UTEP to the Mountain West, and Texas State saying, yeah, no thanks. They play tonight, by the way. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This message is brought to you.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
That is a head scratcher. I mean, every once in a while we'll get a team that's highly ranked and then it goes sideways. There's usually an obvious reason why, like an injury or something, but this one has just been a disaster from the start, and there's just no other way to put it. That they managed to beat Cal, I think, but this is a team that might not end up with a much better record than Purdue, and Purdue's terrible, let me tell you. So, but Purdue's on their way to maybe 2-10, and Florida State might not do much better than that. And that's stunning because we would have all guessed, at worst, that record would be reversed for Florida State this season.
Jerry, what did you think of how UNLV responded to blow out Fresno State? They get Clemson in Vegas on Friday night.
Yeah, I think that. Wait a minute, UNLV's playing Clemson?
I mean Syracuse. Excuse me. I got the
different orange team.
Different
orange ACC team. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we just talked about Clemson playing someone else.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Okay.
Different orange ACC team.
So, well, first of all, it's a great response, and it's obvious that their backup quarterback is someone who can play for them. So. But they can't let it be a one-game response. They've got a lot to play for. If they can win the Mountain West, they're likely in the college football playoff. So, but that was a great response. And Fresno State's a pretty good team. So, to take them to the woodshed like that is pretty impressive.
How good's Indiana?
We'll find out someday. We haven't come across that day yet. I get the Maryland win is their best so far. Maryland may or may not be a bowl team. They've got a soft schedule, soft Big Ten schedule, relatively speaking. So, they could win 10 games and not beat anybody. So they've got a pretty bottom-heavy schedule in the league this year. So we'll see what they do. I just want to see them play somebody, better before I reserve judgment. But they are doing what good teams do to the teams that they have played so far.
Yeah.
So that is promising.
You play who's in front of you, right? I mean, you can. It's all you can do. Maryland
and play them and play them. I mean, it's not like they're just getting by. They're laying waste to bad teams. Well, that's what good teams do. So if Michigan was playing Indiana's schedule or somebody like that, that's what they would be doing. So it's promising for Indiana that they have come out of the gate with a new coach like this, and who brought most of James Madison with him, apparently.
Right.
And
You
the
mentioned
staff and the players.
Yeah, no, except and he didn't get the quarterback. Well, he didn't. Yeah, the quarterback you wanted, I guess. You mentioned Maryland. Is Mike Locksley in trouble there? The head coach?
Yes, he could have been in trouble a few years ago for stuff happening off the field.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know how much patience they would have with mediocrity on the field.
Yeah. I look at the schedule this week. I know this isn't the marquee game, or maybe it is, but it's a rematch of the championship game last year. Michigan going to Washington to play in a league game this year. Washington's way down. I was in Ann Arbor this week. I was listening to Detroit radio, and people were screaming. Well, the atmosphere was unbelievable. The radio was, we're 4-1 and we stink, and we got to make and it's like, oh my goodness. And granted, their offense isn't very good, but they're 4-1. This is interesting to me, them going across the country. And by the way, it's the first time they got to leave Ann Arbor, and it's October.
Right. Oh, well, and that's, that's kind of SOP for the those Big Ten schools. Well, Penn State started on the road. I don't know if Ohio State's left Columbus yet, but that's kind of, unless they get an early conference game away, they're playing a lot of home games. I like Michigan in this game. I don't really think Washington is up to the pounding that Michigan can, put on your offensive and defensive lines. Now, it's funny because neither of these teams are anywhere near really what they were last year. You've got new coaches on both sides, a lot of talent off to the NFL. But I think Michigan is better. I don't trust Michigan to win big because they just don't seem like that kind of a team. They did it to Fresno State, I think, to start the season.
Yep.
Beat them 30-10, but all their conference games, it seems like they're just grind. So I don't know if they'll cover whatever spread there is. I don't know. It might only be a couple points, in which case they probably could cover it. But if there's anything near a touchdown on that, then I would have to say that I like Washington to at least cover because that's Michigan just doesn't put people away.
And Jerry, when you look at the teams, just outside the top 10, looking for a bounce back, couple spots, Ole Miss at South Carolina or the start to Iowa State. What are some of the other names or teams you're looking at early in the season?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really soft schedule week. We only have one game, I think, between ranked teams, which is Mizzou at A&M, which is interesting. I think we learn about Mizzou this week. What was the game outside the top 10? Oh, Ole Miss. Yeah, last week was a stinker. Kentucky's not a lot of fun to play. They're pretty defensive oriented, and they just kind of grind you on offense, and you end up playing these low scoring games that aren't really a lot of fun, and they try your patience, and that's a tough loss in terms of the playoff for Ole Miss because they have one of those schedules where the opportunity for quality wins are very few. Just one, maybe two. I think just one. So now you lose at Kentucky, or at home to Kentucky, I think it was, and now you go to South Carolina, and South Carolina's pretty feisty too. So I don't think they'll lose again this week. but I wouldn't be shocked if that's a closer game than whatever the spread is, which I think is about 3 touchdowns. And I mean, Ole Miss is capable of putting up that kind of a number, but I think South Carolina will make it difficult for them.
All right, best group of 5 team, and I guess that's not even the right way to answer it. The group of 5 team with the best path to the playoff: James Madison, Boise State, UNLV, Liberty. James Madison's impressive, man.
Yeah, they are, but I don't think they've. See, the thing about Boise State is even if they go 12-1, first of all, they probably will have beaten UNLV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they had play in the regular season,
No, but it'll be
certainly
the championship game. Yeah.
And they would have a close loss to Oregon, who's also likely a playoff team.
Yeah, they do play in a few weeks. They play.
Madison just isn't playing anybody like that.
Yeah, they play Carolina and they beat them 70-50. But I understand.
Yeah, but North Carolina will be lucky to make a bowl. I mean,
know.
that's they just don't have a game like that. Where even as an undefeated team, Boise State at 12-1 is a more impressive resume.
What about
and a more impressive team to me than an undefeated James Madison can be?
What if so they do play, Boise State and UNLV do play here in a couple of weeks? What about a 12-1 UNLV? That would mean they'd have beaten Syracuse, split with Boise State, won at Kansas, won at Houston. I know Houston's not very good, but
all 3 of those teams are not very good.
But you're scheduling, right?
Kansas has been terrible.
Yeah. So what does that mean? So then you'd have split with Boise.
3, Syracuse might be the best of them, and Syracuse is a borderline bowl team.
What do you do then, man?
Splitting with Boise State is nice.
Yeah.
But I think James Madison has a better argument with UNLV at 12-1 than they do with Boise at 12-1. Yeah. But it could still end up being UNLV.
It's so hard, right? Because you schedule a few years in advance, and you don't know. I mean, you think Kansas is going to be good. You think Syracuse is going to be good. You think Houston's going to be good.
I don't know why you think Syracuse is going to be good. Syracuse hasn't been competitive in the ACC for a very long time.
That's totally fair, and you get them at your place. Yeah, that's totally fair. All right. I miss anything?
No, I don't know.
I know probably, but I'm out of time.
But you're not ready to talk basketball yet, are you? Because at Purdue we are.
Look, man, we might be there in a week. We might be around these parts in a week. I know Richard Pitino and that club's opened up, and they're going to be pretty good. And I think this league will be fun again. So we'll hit that in a couple weeks. Read them every day on CBSSports.com. Follow them on the X at JP Palm CBS. And we'll catch you next Thursday.
All right. Sounds good.
Be well. Always appreciate the time. Take care.
Yep, take care.
Jerry Palm. He's like, it's basketball season around here, man. It's in Indiana. It's Purdue. We're horrible at football.
Kind of the same thing.
Like, well, yeah. I
mean, October 25th,
yeah,
you can make the case it's the biggest game in the history of the Mountain West Conference.
If they're both undefeated, UNLV, Boise State?
Boise State at UNLV.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they won't be both undefeated overall, but in league.
With an opportunity for one of those teams to take a step forward.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stay on that path.
505-246-0610. You can respond to what Jerry had to say. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gallus Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
I'm a Blaze King customer, and I have been for the last 10 years. Blaze King stoves are very efficient, they're easy to maintain, and they use a lot less wood than you would typically use with a fireplace.
Blaze King, that's a fire.
The heat is on when it's a Blaze King wood stove.
Michigan, Washington is interesting, isn't it? But he's right. I mean, they're nothing like the game we watched in the national championship last year. But now it's a league game. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Steve from Michigan says he's curious about the chances of Eastern Washington or the University of Idaho joining the Mountain West if they are Division I. Idaho went down to FCS.
Yes,
About 8 years ago? So when New Mexico State left the Sun Belt, them and Idaho got thrown out of the Sun Belt essentially. Not thrown out. Not renewed. They were on like temporary trial status. They got cut. I haven't heard anything big about Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington is an interesting place, market. It's just out of Spokane. It's in Cheney, just to the west of Spokane on the way in. Big enrollment, big alumni. Cooper Cup University.
I don't think right now there's a strong push from teams that haven't been in the news over the last few years to make that jump, because that is a whole different world financially. And then you're talking about the NIL game, plus up in your scholarships. So the established FCS teams willing to have a conversation with, but I do think that there's a lot that are just understand they're fine where they are. We do have some traction, though, on the Mountain West discussions.
What do you got?
Which we will tell you about at 9 o'clock because
we're at
the music
is
hitting right now.
All right, I got a bunch of your emails as well and texts, and I'll get them all in. 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Traction on the Mountain West realignment. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service.
Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Well, little traction in the Mountain West. Got a surf report for you. We got football tonight, baseball, playoffs moving, and a lot of correspondence from you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Thursday, and thank you for remembering you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Appreciate you spending some time with us. All right, you got a little traction, got a little news?
Well, Brett McMurphy.
Yeah.
Action Network.
Yeah.
Saying that the Mountain West has circled back to discussions with Hawaii about becoming a full member.
How do you feel about that? It's interesting. That might, in reality, I don't know how you feel about going out there for basketball. It's an interesting move. They'd be, I guess at that point you go back to travel partners and have them go San Jose State to there. Thursday, Saturday or something, or Wednesday, right? And then you would go travel partners. So you would go, gosh, how would that even look then? New Mexico, UTEP, Wyoming Air Force, right? San Jose State, Hawaii, and UNLV in Reno would be your travel. So you, for basketball, how do you feel about that?
Not terrible.
Okay.
Like there's not going to be a wild move left for the Mountain West.
Well, there's going to have to be some sort of subsidies. I know, because you got to be sitting there just going, well, what the hell is that going to cost me to run my volleyball team out there? Right? And there's a lot of sports that Hawaii plays that are not sponsored, like men's volleyball, water polo, those sort of things that they fit really well in the Big West. Now, the Big West has been a bus league. Basically, it runs from San Luis Obispo down, through Orange County and Riverside County, and right? I mean, it's Long Beach State and UC Irvine and UC Riverside and Cal State Northridge, right? Up to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and UC Santa Barbara, right? I think that's as far north. No, it goes all the way up to UC Davis. All the way. So it's a California bus league. And then Hawaii. All right. How do you feel about that? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm okay. It's probably maybe their best move.
There's the relationship. You're not having to pull someone out of
another league,
or
and you still can
transition time. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's over, but again, this is all about getting to the survival number of 8,
right?
And then seeing, what frosting you can put on top of the cake,
basketball wise. Then you start going to St. Mary's, right? Because I don't
even know if that's.
You make the call, man.
You make the call. You call everyone. That's why they do the MAC stuff out there. You start swinging for the fences.
Let me ask you this, dude. If you went St. Mary's and Grand Canyon in non-football sports, got to 10, Hawaii in all sports, don't you think that adds what the Pac just did basketball wise with Gonzaga, San Diego State, right? Everything they got. If you got St. Mary's and Grand Canyon to go with New Mexico and UNLV, doesn't that help you tremendously basketball-wise?
It does.
It gives you more baseball with Grand Canyon, a good baseball program. And I know New Mexico State's over there going, wait, hey. Like, it's like that Yellow Page ad that runs on the Sports Animal, right? You're not in the Yellow Pages. You're not I guess it's yellow. It's CEO Optimizer. Or SEO Optimizer. But at that point, look, would New Mexico State help you in basketball? I mean, they used to. You got to believe they're going to be back to where they are. This feels like there's no way on New Mexico State, huh?
That's what it feels like.
I saw Andy Morgan, who used to be at Channel 4. He's a sports guy down in El Paso now. And there was a tweet that he said that he's hearing that UNM is a big reason why NMSU isn't getting a look. You guys, I got to hear a little bit more than just people are tweeting New Mexico's keeping New Mexico State out. Because I don't know what the incentive would be at this point. Well, they don't want to share the funding. They're sharing funding anyway. You got to give me something more than a TV guy or some booster tweeted that New Mexico's keeping New Mexico State out. I do see the tweets. I don't see reports, and they're very different. Now, Andy Morgan being a journalist, I guess, is a report, right? But again, based on what I'm hearing from whom? From Joey Aggie? From Pistol Pete? I'm not telling you it absolutely can't be true. I've not heard it from a credible place, and it's hard for me to believe at this point, as this league is desperate to get to a number, that UNM is just saying absolutely not, banging the table. First of all, I don't know that they got enough clout in that room to say, hell no, we're not having New Mexico State in, right? And I'm not sure what the incentive is. 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal.
Good morning. I think it's really irresponsible for people to keep perpetrating a myth that somehow UNM has these magical powers to get people in or out of a conference. Look, UNM they take no position. They're one vote. If it came down to one vote and they were the vote that kept New Mexico State out, Now, maybe you have a point, but that's not anywhere close to what's happening. And New Mexico State's going to get in the Mountain West on their own merit, aren't they, Jeff?
If they get in, whoever it is going to get in on their own merit.
Right. No, nobody can pull somebody else in. This idea that New Mexico is out there blocking New Mexico State from joining the Mountain West, otherwise they'd be in, is a lie. It's not true. And really, it irritates me because this is what's been going on for years between New Mexico and New Mexico State. When New Mexico State doesn't get something, it's UNM's fault. That's not true. And I hope they get in. I wouldn't care if they were in. They need to get to 8. The PAC needs to get to 8. You know, I understand New Mexico State's desperate to get into one of these conferences. They make it on their merit. I don't know. The most logical was to just add the 2 teams from what was left of the PAC to the Mountain West, and then they could have worked on basketball. But instead, it's turned into this impossible Rubik's Cube of people moving around. Great. Gonzaga's in the Pac-12. It doesn't get the PAC where they need to be in football, does it?
In football, no, it doesn't help them at all.
At all. And if they don't get that 8th team by 2026...
And they will.
Yeah, but who? Okay? I mean, if it's leftovers, I keep hearing names, and I'm just like, that doesn't add any value to the Pac-2. They don't even have a deal. They're taking a hiatus to see if they can figure out which way the wind's blowing on how much money they're going to get. Because all of a sudden that $15 million a year doesn't seem so realistic, does it?
I don't know. I mean, that's what they're going to evaluate. So what they're doing is they hired this consulting firm that is usually pretty good at judging these deals, and they're running these scenarios. So if we add Sacramento State, what are we worth? If we add Memphis and stay at this number, what are we worth? If we have Memphis and Tulane, and then they've got some sort of data to go back to Memphis and say, all right, we can make you a better deal, or we can't. That's what they're doing.
Right. And then if it doesn't come true, they promised them something they can't deliver because nobody knows what that final number is going to be.
Well, then it's up to Memphis. But then it's on Memphis whether or not they're willing to take that leap on projections. Then it's on Memphis.
To ship your school halfway across the United States or more.
Yeah.
Compete. You know, it's just it doesn't make sense. I want to see UTEP is a great fit because it's regional.
Yep.
New Mexico State would be a great fit. And again, this whole thing comes down to a stroke of a pen. The governor could say, here's $100 million to each school to improve your facilities so you can be included in this conversation. Nobody would even miss it. It's money that doesn't come out of anybody's pocket. I don't know what it's going to take to finally get this legislature together, but this is the time. I keep saying it, and if any people are out there listening and they care, call your legislator and tell them that you want a stadium. And yeah, it's great to rename the stadium. I'd love to have some catchy name for the stadium, but
it doesn't matter.
It does that. What matters is getting some money to improve that. You know, Jeff, one of the things that really bothers me, and it's bothered me for years, is to see where visiting teams have to dress, and they need to fix that up. That's just being a poor host.
Look,
where the referees get dressed.
Look, I run a bowl game in that stadium, and I'm well aware of that. And yes, that's a big issue. Yes.
Yep.
All right,
so if we do anything, let's fix those two things up so that we present ourselves better to opponents and to the officiating crews that come in here. Start there.
Well,
that doesn't cost that much money.
You got to start somewhere.
But we got to do something, and this is the year, so I'm going to keep banging that drum.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.
The more and more we're doing this, JJ, I wish these changes were football only. And I know it can't be, and I know I just as pompous, and I'll use that word, and it's my alma mater, but as pompous as San Diego State and Boise State and those fans are, do you think they really believe they're in a way better basketball league just because they added Gonzaga and got rid of UNLV in New Mexico? Yes. They might. Do you think they'd be better off with New Mexico and UNLV in their basketball league?
They would be better off, but they don't care because they feel they took a step forward. And I know Rudy's voiced his frustration. None of this makes sense. The fan bases across this country that are being mentioned going to the Pac-12 are overwhelmingly in favor of that. There is just a narrative that brand still matters, that brand will push you forward. Like Memphis is clamoring. Memphis is upset that they're not in the pack yet.
Yeah, they're pissed at their AD for turning it down.
But that's the national narrative, is that brand carries weight, even though there's no weight behind it right now.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Again, Brett McMurphy, Action Network. Mountain West is in discussions with Hawaii about the school joining the league as a full member. Hawaii has been a Mountain West football member since 2012. Non-football sports are in the Big West. That would get the Mountain West to their full requirement of 8 for football and everything else. So it's a conversation. It's not done. It's a conversation. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505
897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
It's JJ, do you know Andy Morgan at all? I think he's normally pretty good, right? Andy Morgan is a sports guy in El Paso, used to work at Channel 4, right?
Yes.
So a lot of this is coming from here. Andy Morgan tweeted yesterday, 13 hours ago, so like at about 8 o'clock last night. He says, I don't post on this on the X. I don't post on this app loosely. He says, is UNM the THE capital? The, so as in like the only. Is UNM the reason the Mountain West has never given NMSU a look? No, of course not. But in the 7 years I've covered the Mountain West Conference and the last 9 years I've spent covering NMSU, I can tell you it's not unfounded. Could that change now? ? It should. And it almost feels dangerous to me. Unless you've got something, if you're speculating, if you're like, well, I've heard this, somebody's got to tell me before we start this this damn war here. Because this would be...
This is a common belief.
Okay.
That New Mexico is the reason. In the past, have we heard things? And has that been talked about? Yes, but I don't think that as we sit in 2024, with everything that's gone on over the last month, that if New Mexico State was a viable candidate for the Mountain West Conference, that the rest of the Mountain West would be like, yep, New Mexico will listen to you and keep them out.
Let me tell you, and I've covered the Mountain West for however many years it's been around, right, since its inception. I've worked with the Mountain West in a number of capacities. I know and have known the majority of the athletic directors over the years of the Mountain West Conference, right? I can tell you straight up. Now, I can't tell you that I've been in a meeting and I can't tell you New Mexico is pounding its fist, yes or no, that we don't want them in. I can tell you what the appetite has been over the years from the other schools in the Mountain West about New Mexico State, and it has not been a hearty appetite for New Mexico State. It's not that Wyoming and San Diego State and Utah State and Boise State all wanted New Mexico State in this league, and UNM sat at the table and said, hell no, and they said, all right, cool, yeah, you're good, Eddie, or you're good, Paul Krebs. We don't want them in the league. Right? That's not how this has gone. Now, where are we now? As you sit here trying to fill your spot and get to a minimum, somebody's got to give me real, like, more than this always been this way. New Mexico has always wanted New Mexico out, and they're keeping them out now. What's the incentive, man? Like, you are trying to keep your damn league together. You don't even have an AD. So are you telling me it's David Williams, an interim athletic director sitting in that room, that's got all this power that's keeping New Mexico State out? You got to help me with something better than I'm hearing this. But I'm telling you that over the years, and I've had a lot of conversations about New Mexico State at functions, in suites, on fields, all over America, with athletic directors in the Mountain West, both past and present. It is not UNM that is keeping New Mexico State out of the Mountain West. There just has not been an appetite. New Mexico State, as Rudy just said, on their own merit, has not brought enough to the table that others, that other member institutions have said, yeah, that's who we want. Now, are we at a different place now? I think we might be, or we might not be. But you got to do a hell of a lot better than over the years. I know that New Mexico's been. You got to give me a little something. And JJ, you know, I wouldn't hit you with this. You and I have had this conversation privately. I've talked to you about what other athletic directors and other institutions feel about New Mexico State joining the league.
No, this was a overall league thing that, with everything we've seen over the last month, I still can't sit there and say, well, it's just the way it is, or this or that, because both sides have sure talked and had their feelings, but now it's just straight survival mode.
Yeah. Harry, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Harry.
It's Harrison, but
hey,
anyway,
sorry, Harrison.
Yeah, the New Mexico State. I don't think anybody. I mean, you know, only people in New Mexico that are from New Mexico State want them in there. So I don't think that anybody wants New Mexico State outside of the University of New Mexico. But what I've called about is I don't know why Eddie Nunez is getting off the hook here. He was one because of what's going on, and because we're not getting into Pac-12. He is the main reason for it, because he's talked down about New Mexico several times that we're not good enough to be in there. And if Utah State can get in there, or Colorado State, we definitely should be in the Pac-12. And he talked down about it. David Williams was following that suit, and he's coached Garnett Stokes on how to not be in the conversation for the Pac-12, and we should have been. I'm so tired of Eddie Nunez getting off on this, and he's the one that didn't get us in the Pac-12, and he should have been the one that was trying to get us in the Pac-12, and David Williams should have done a hell of a lot better job than they're doing right now. And because, I mean, we just sit there and talk down about ourselves. We've got plenty to offer the Pac-12, and instead of, you know, picking up scraps with the Mountain West, we should have been in the Pac-12, and Eddie Nunez does not get a pass with me. I think he really hurt our university. And
Harrison,
he would be in a heck of a lot better situation.
Yeah, no, I've said a number of times, Eddie's got to wear this too. Eddie's got to wear this too. He doesn't get a pass. And, you know, I think, you know, people have said, well, if Eddie was here, what? If Eddie was here, you think he'd have been on that group text with San Diego State and Boise State just because he was the AD? Like, look, this was 3 weeks after he left that this thing fell apart? No, I mean, he's got to wear some of this too. This is part of his legacy now.
David Williams has an opportunity to do something, and he's not doing anything.
Then David was the interim, and I said this a number of times too. I think the time has passed on the PAC because you signed your grant of rights thing, but they should have been knocking on the door saying, here's our plan, and here's what we should do, and here's what we bring. And they may have still said no, and maybe they did all that, right? But I agree with you. Eddie doesn't get a pass. You still there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like I should say, you know, I hope they have been working on that. I hope that for New Mexico that they really were working on it. But it sure does. I don't hear any rumblings that they were.
And that's what bothers a lot of people is there's been nothing publicly. And again, you don't do this in the media. You don't do this publicly. But I think there's a lot of people in the fan base who are going, what did we do anything to get there? And I've heard that 1,000 times. What did we do to make ourselves relevant? Did we do anything to get in instead of just be reactionary? Why weren't we proactive? So
I think there's still a place there that we could get in there, and I think they're still looking for a football team, right? They are.
There's
one space available.
Yep.
I mean, it might cost us some money, but at the same time, the future is going to be so much better if we get in there.
I don't disagree with you, Ben. I don't disagree with you at all. No, I appreciate the call. And I've said this before, right? I mean, Eddie's not absolved of anything.
No.
Here?
But
is it all
the
his
only
fault?
thing just like we're talking about this New Mexico State situation, I don't think you can sit here and say that UNM did nothing. And what does he mean by talking down? You say that, you know, Dave Williams and the Indians were talking down the University of New Mexico. If UNLV, who was apparently able to make a decision between the Pac-12 and Mountain West this last week, if their athletic director was blindsided by this, I don't think there's anything these schools could have done. They wanted
to be in the first wave.
To be in that first wave.
Yeah. But then when Utah State...
So here's the thing. Was Utah State playing both sides, and that's why they got preferential treatment?
Absolutely.
Were they the ones that... Were they the mole in the room then?
Well, I mean, the second time through, probably not the first time, but the second time, yeah. Obviously, I mean, whatever they did, because, I mean, you've looked at them a million times, as we all have. Why them?
Because Could more have been done? Yeah, you can say that about everything. But it was clear that at a certain point you could put all the PowerPoint presentations together you want and say, hey, we're going to go ask for this, that, and the other. Those fan bases and those schools were done with you.
I think that's right, but did you continue to lob, right? Did you continue to fight? Alan, thanks for holding. Good morning. You're on the Sports Hour.
Hey, with regards to New Mexico State making it to the Mountain West, I know they don't bring a lot to the table. No one's going to confuse them for Alabama, but they bring as much to the table as UTEP. They bring more to the table than Texas State or Tarleton State or the Hawaiian Olympic sports. So there has to be, I wish I knew what exactly the reason why they're being left out. And if New Mexico Lobos are not the ones keeping them out or arguing against them, well, I never heard of anyone from New Mexico administration, talking on their behalf and say, hey, why don't we at least look at New Mexico State? So there has to be something there other than the fact that they're in Las Cruces. There has to be more to it. If UTEP got the invite, I don't see why the Aggies don't get the invite. So thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Couple of things. I mean, UTEP isn't theoretically in Texas. They are the big dog in that market. And I agree with you. I've never heard anybody from UNM publicly say we want New Mexico State in, nor have I heard, Alan, anybody from Wyoming, Nevada, UNLV, any Air Force say I want New Mexico State in either. Have you? I mean, I haven't heard anybody from any of the institutions publicly campaign for anybody. Have you?
No.
Now, would that be appropriate? You can say it would be, or you can say it wouldn't be. I think what he's saying is UNM's keeping New Mexico State out. You got to give me more than I'm reading reports and we bring more than Tarleton. Maybe you do, but it's not. UNM's not making the call here, and I don't know that I think UNM's got enough damn power in that room at this point. If Air Force in Nevada and Wyoming and whoever UNLV,
yeah, you can't. You think about it, and if you're an Aggie alum or you've been in New Mexico, you're like, oh, this makes a ton of sense. But if you're in Laramie, you're in Reno, you're in Las Vegas, you're like, why do we need two schools from right there?
In the same market?
What does that do for us?
Yeah. What does it do to have two teams in the same market? It's not right. Does UTEP want them in? Now UTEP's a voting member. I mean, UTEP for years tried to keep them, and I think this was just as talked about as New Mexico, wanted to keep them out of their same conference. They didn't want to split that market. That's literally splitting the market. Are you yelling that UTEP's keeping them out too? Because UTEP's now got to vote. 505-246-0610. Hey, if you're planning an event, you got a party, a convention, a gala, a holiday party for your company, Albuquerque Convention Center is your venue. It is spectacular, 600,000 square feet of beautiful, flexible, indoor and outdoor meeting space. Local art throughout the building. They got the Kiva Auditorium, great food and beverage options. They'll cater to your needs, concessions and bars, entertainment and event space right in the center of downtown. The parking garage right off of Martin Luther King, directly connected to the facility's east building. It is your spot. The center includes an east and west building, and they got the Sky Bridge connecting the two, so go over 2nd Street. It's always exciting to walk through there. Meeting rooms, ballrooms, exhibit halls, lobby, foyer space, walking distance to many, many spots in downtown. They are your spot for your event, whether it's 10 people or 20,000 people. It's a gala. It's a party. If you're in charge of your holiday party for your company, get a hold of the Albuquerque Convention Center. We host an event there every year for the Isleta New Mexico Bowl. Our players are treated tremendously. That's why we keep going back. And I know you've been to events there. The food's great. The service is great. The space is great. It's easy in and out. It's at the center of it all. Check it out because they will take care of you. Their staff goes above and beyond. The food is great. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. AlbuquerqueCC.com's got all your information. AlbuquerqueCC.com. Or give them a call, 505-768-4575. 505-768-4575. Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.org.
From the Sandia foothills to the banks of the Rio Grande, generations of families remain. For 5 generations, Gala Chevrolet has handed down values written in stone, leading the way under sun-filled skies, past the vintage glow of Route 66. Built by generations past, built for generations to come. This is New Mexico. This is Gallus.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you with.
Want New Mexico State in their league. Now, as we sit here today, and New Mexico and UTEP are back in the same league, and that league is swimming, just literally treading water, trying to get to the minimum. I'm going to tell you, I don't think New Mexico's got enough damn clout in that room to demand anything right now. And if there was a consensus in that room, or even a swell of support between Air Force and San Jose State and Nevada and UNLV and Wyoming to put New Mexico State in this league, I don't think New Mexico's got the clout to keep them out.
Not right now. Not with everything that's happened. And it's like this was a process. I know people are upset now, and why didn't you have the presentation ready? Why didn't you push more? Like, this is, you got to remember, this is also a fan base that over the years was mad because you got new lockers.
Remember the new floors after 25 years of sweating and crap on that
when
floor.
It finally hits you in the face and you realize, oh, maybe you do have to invest in things if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're
playing
upset about it.
And you're trying to play catch up. Yeah. Gopher is out on Hawaii. If you're just joining us, Brett McMurphy of Action Sports Network has tweeted that the Mountain West is discussing a full membership with Hawaii, which would get them to their full 8 in all sports. Gopher says, Hawaii, don't the Rainbows have the same problem as Lobo football, Jeffy Lube? Their stadium was so old and dumpy, it was finally condemned, and now Timmy Chang's guys are playing in a glorified high school gym. Yep, they did, and there's plans to build them a new one. There is. So, Hondo says Michelle Lujan Newsom is in Mexico City. Jeff, she doesn't have time to save Lobo football. Gus says, merit? Come on, Jeffy. On what? On merit, what does UTEP bring to the table? Enough merit at this point to get into a desperate league. More merit than anybody else does. Gus? I mean, honestly, I agree with you. What has UTEP done? They've been to a few bowl games in the last couple of decades. I think they got to one NCAA tournament recently. Look, I'm with you. What has their athletic success been? Nobody's just going, oh, yeah, UTEP's here. Let's move over Alabama. Bruce, you're cute. We need Smooth Jerry to get Smooth Jerry. He's talking about Jerry Plum out to the New Mexico Bowl this year. Since with all the changes in college footy, who knows if this will be the final game ever. I'll bet whatever I got that there'll be another one. And another, want to bet? I'm happy to. But okay.
So, Matt Brown.
Yeah.
He writes Extra Points newsletters. Fantastic college reporter. He did add onto the Hawaii stuff. He said that discussions is the right word right now. It's kind of everyone's just like probing around. You brought it up, and so one of the biggest questions is the travel subsidies, because Hawaii pays a travel subsidy in the Big West.
That's right.
So would that then have to increase moving to the Mountain West? But he also added that in discussions that the Hawaii time slot is actually a positive because people are sucker for those late night games and it's sports betting.
Fair. This is on the text line. This is on the Alex Bregman stuff earlier. It says cheating is wrong, period. The Astros were busted. To say baseball understood it's probable that it's happening other places is irresponsible. If it is, punish them, period. The Astros should have vacated the World Series. The players should have been made to return their winning share and rings. All of those players are cheaters, period. None of them have integrity. Okay? The conversation was, what did it say about guys like A.J. Hinch and all these guys? And that's where that goes. Nobody excused. Just to be very, very clear here. Neither you nor I excused what happened, right? We both said that if they cheated, it was wrong. The answer was, A.J. Hinch, the manager, getting another job, and all these guys, Alex Cora getting another job and being successful. This has put up a poll. Do Lobo fans want the Aggies in the same conference? Do Lobo fans want them in the same conference? Mud asks, hey, Hefe, do you think that may be New Mexico State is getting left out of the Mountain West because of the last 3 years with negative news with its basketball team or the way their fans are? Negative news can keep them from getting a nod. Look, I think that's a factor here. And I know people don't. I've had a lot of conversations over the last 3 years at league meetings about New Mexico State and people asking me what's going on down there. Yeah, dude, with all due respect, the fact that you shut down your your basketball program because of that hazing incident, yeah, that doesn't help. The fact that you had that basketball incident and there was a death because a player, and again, I'm not looking to place blame. It was lured out. Everybody's guilty here. But yeah, all of those things. And now you got a football coach, an offensive coordinator who's been away from the team because of tweets from 12 years, 13 years. All of this, do they factor in? I mean, again, I'm Wyoming, I'm Air Force, I'm San Jose State. I have no tie to them. But what has New Mexico State been in the news for? Yeah, they went to 2 bowl games. They were a great football story with Jerry Kill. All of that's really, really good. But JJ, do you think, Mud asked, do you think all that all that other stuff factors into this.
It plays a factor.
I don't know how it doesn't. Harrison is delusional. UNM has no business in the Pac-12 at all, says this one. Okay. I don't know that they don't. I mean, if Utah State does, then why doesn't New Mexico? Aaron, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, I'm a UNM grad, but I say this with a little bit of a heavy heart, but UNM has no one to blame but not getting invites to other conferences but themselves.
Yep.
The athletic performance out of the two major sports, football and basketball, since 2014 has been average at best. I mean, even with that basketball program, they finished 6th, 7th in the league last year. They caught lightning in a bottle, or they would never have made the NCAA tournament. And then you pass the last decade, and you're looking at a team that's finished middle of the conference in the Mountain West. So I know we like to beat our chest about our basketball team, but we have to look ourselves very closely in the mirror and say exactly how good is that basketball team. Because over the last 10 years, an average at best, if you're being honest. And then you look at the football team, and the football team has been one of the probably 10 worst football teams in the entire country. So the athletic department has blame there, the fan base has blame there, the investment in there, like you were saying, with locker rooms and floors. I mean, the fans have to look at themselves in the mirror too and say, if the reason why we're in the position we're in is because of the investments that we made, the coaching decisions that we've made, and overall the performance on the field.
Great call. Aaron, I can't agree with you more. I mean, everybody's culpable on this, man. Yeah. You know, all this lethargy over the years, well, whatever, football's football, let's get to basketball season. All right, yeah, that's good. It's where you are. And there have been some really lean years. Look, man, if you had the football success of Colorado State and invested a little bit in this program, I got to believe you'd be in this conversation where you want to be. Wrap it up. I got a bunch more for you. It's still time. I'll read you. You sent them. I'll read them. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Bring it back.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life. And
Text line, Jeff and JJ, I'm all in favor of Hawaii joining the Mountain West Conference for all sports. It has to be great for recruiting. If I was a golfer, baseball player, a yearly trip to Hawaii would be amazing. All right, Ronnie, appreciate you. 505-246-0610. Ken, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Ken.
Oh, good morning, guys. My two quick takes on this, my opinion. Of all the scenarios, this is the second best scenario for the Lobos, and I think fans need to understand that. How grim this could have been for us. The best case scenario is we would have emerged and we'd have been in the Pac-12 with all those other teams. That would have been great. But to me, this is the second best scenario. The Mountain West did not dissolve, and if they would have dissolved, if they would have taken UNLV and Air Force, we would have been in big trouble. So to me, this actually is not that bad. It's not the worst and it's not the best. It's somewhere in the middle. When you can keep UNLV and keep Air Force and you add UTEP and add Hawaii potentially in basketball and all the other sports, that is a really good soft landing for the Lobos because this would have been a mess. Conference USA would have had to really look at us twice to go, do we even want the Lobos? And that would have been a complete disaster for us. So I think Lobo fans need to understand how bad this could have been, and this is actually not that bad. And my second quick point, this has to be a reset for every single Mountain West Conference team. They need to go, man, that was close, especially the Lobos. They have to say, wow, I think we just avoided a complete disaster to our athletic program. Now is a new day. We have to move forward, invest more, get this thing where we want it to go as it pertains to football. And where in the country do fans start the turnover of a good football program? Besides like in Nebraska, where they have some lean years, but they're in Nebraska, they're going to show up regardless. Where in the country has a program that is down and been down for many decades, the fans are the ones that boost the program? You lose, the fans don't show up. That's just human nature. That is true at Tulsa. That's true at UTEP. It's everywhere. It's just the way it is.
Yep. Great stuff. No, I appreciate you. He's not wrong. It could have been better. It could have been worse. You always want better. You always want the best. This is from an Aztec fan. It's from Ralph, who sent me a picture of the Tide in North County. Small swell Tide going to be higher. Take an early lunch and get some surf. He says, how is Tarleton State a better option than the Aggies? Not sure why the Pac-12 and Mountain West just didn't merge. Washington State, Oregon State could have held back some of their cash from the Pac-12. They would have several markets and a wider swath, probably better TV deal. Instead, it's going to be arm wrestling with the AAC and Conference USA for schools that don't move the needle. Go Dodgers, go Aztecs. It's from Ralph. How about Aztec fan actually saying, and he's not the most rational Aztec fan, I promise you, saying they should have just merged. Yeah. Look, it could have been worse, man. It doesn't make it feel any better when it's not good. This says maybe NMSU fans should take this opportunity to look in the mirror. You're not in the Mountain West because your athletic budget's $20 million less than UNM. You just had a kid from your basketball team involved in a murder. Your basketball program then got a pseudo-death penalty for sexual assault. You currently can't pay for women's sports, and now your TV market doesn't do much for the Mountain West because it just got UTEP. You're not in the Mountain West because of you. Same reason UNM isn't in the pack, because of UNM. That's on the text line. Okay. I don't know that that's not totally true, by the way. I mean, look, New Mexico State, at some point, what did you do to get yourself ready for this spot? So to say, it's a really fair comparison. What did UNM do to get themselves attractive to be in the pack, right? What does New Mexico State do? Well, their football program got better over the last 2 years. You did. You absolutely did. Jerry Kill did a hell of a job. And you absolutely did. And what else? Where's your budget? Where's your commitment? And again, you're going to tell me, you got the new weight room coming and the new locker room, and you're right. Is it enough? But you guys are going to have to come with something better than, well, it's always been this way. UNM doesn't want New Mexico State in their league. Really? I mean, where we're sitting today, you're going to tell me that Air Force, Wyoming, Nevada, UNLV, San Jose State, they all want NMSU, but New Mexico, with their interim athletic director, has the clout at that table to say, yeah, we're going to keep them out, and so that's why they're not out? You got to help me with a little more. Now, do I think New Mexico State would be a good fit in this league? I do. I would like to see New Mexico State in the Mountain West. But you got to come with some more than an Andy Morgan tweet that says that's the reason they're out. I just don't know how you think New Mexico has that much damn power.
I'm right there with you. Times have changed, and they've changed really quickly.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I've talked a lot of years, a lot of people about New Mexico State. It's not New Mexico's keeping them out. Man, there's got to be an appetite for it. I'd like to see him in this league. I think it'd be great for all of us. Thanks to Jerry Palm. CBS Sports was with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4, and then you get Thursday Night Football, Buccaneers and Falcons. Should be good. I don't know. You want to come back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m.?
Yep.
All right. Adrian, great work. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of Pro V Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Hi, my name is Ruben, and I'm with the New Mexico Educational Assistance Foundation. We are proud sponsors of high school and college sports. Either college or trade, we can help you find the funding you need. Go to nmfafsa.org. That's nmfafsa.